Hey, everybody. Welcome to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. It's season 3.
Episode 12, take 1.
That was good. We brought that back twice now. we can call that a prop now, Ed.
Yeah, I like
it's from Hollywood.
I like that.
We're in Hollywood. The chair is squeaking already. You were right. You must have sat on it. It's the podcast that you've been waiting for. Well, Christ, up until yesterday, I didn't even realize
It was podcast time.
what happened when I called you. It's like, hey, Ed, it's Joe.
I was wondering. I didn't see no posts or anything.
I've been covered up. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in there with us. We're a month away from Joe's Minibike Reunion, and that's why I'm like this. And these are pretty popular. You see them everywhere. Little
Yep.
Joe's Minibike Reunion decals.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to take this fucking decal off for like about a half hour. I can't get the back off it. So these are just this is just one small example of what you're in store for. We give away a pretty damn good goodie bag, don't we, Ed, for all the folks that sign up?
Yep, pretty good.
So we're going to talk about, if you haven't figured it out, we're going to talk about the upcoming Joe's Minibike Reunion. It's our 7th annual. It's October the 13th at beautiful CV Park. I'm going to meet with the park this week, I hope, Ed. It looks as if we've got good things happening, so we'll update everybody. And I want to pick up on the Joe's Minibike Reunion American Minibike Roll Call, and we're gonna drop in. We're gonna go south. We're gonna head southeast. We're gonna check out upstate South Carolina mini bikes, and we're gonna head over to Spartanburg and talk to my man Duran Bagwell as we start the show, and then we'll hopefully have a chance to find some good questions and comments. You could just send them in. Make sure that you hashtag JMBR, and at the break we'll pick a question. I talked to Tim today from Small Engine Cam, so we'll just get into it. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for listening. I want to thank our sponsors. Well, you know the sponsors by now, Ed. Let's mark them out, would you?
Pioneer Stereo, Eric Shingles.
Yep. That's good enough for Eric Shingles because they know him as studs anyways.
Sports,
yep.
Small Engine Cam, CRC.
That's pretty much it for now, right?
I think I'm not forgetting anything.
No, you're good. You're good. So thanks, everybody. We're, we started this podcast largely to just promote the show. And as it turns out, there's a lot more interesting things to talk about and cooler people to talk about than just me and you, Ed, about mini bikes. But it's down to me and you tonight in Duran. And I'll start off by saying this. You've been going on with that move at your place for what now? Like I remember
months, but it's still not in effect yet. They're still fighting over one page. The lawyers.
That's what they're telling you, right?
That's what my landlord said. Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you just deal with the drama of living, around people. All the.
I hate that place. I gotta get out of there.
Well, recently what happened? I know you don't like people parking in front. It's definitely you don't like them smoking weed and leaving their dispensary
No,
cases
they just throw it out the window.
All right, so now what? We've moved on from the pot smokers. Who's out there now?
It's always been.
Sure.
Now we have the Bobo Burgers clan that drives drive through, parks in front of my house because of the shade, sits there, eats their lunch, throws the trays and stuff and napkins all in front of my house, drives off.
People
sit there and on their phones playing games.
And you can hear it all?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Go out there and tell them to leave.
And how's that go?
It doesn't. They want to start a fight. Then I have to freaking open up the gate, take the chain off the gate, and head over to them with the chain in my hand.
But by that time,
then they're like, "Oh shit!" And say, "Get the out of here."
But you did it in a nice Evil Ed way.
First I ask them nicely to leave.
Sure, you're
and
like that.
Then they start getting smart, so I got to get smart back.
Yeah,
because I just don't like those little smart asses.
Well, especially when they're not being courteous. But you won't have any of those non-courteous people at Joe's Minibike Reunion. We have only cool people that come.
Right.
So, all right, let's get to it. The giveaway this year, God knows, it's been years, right? We have largely, there's a guy picking up a check. I got to get into his line of work. If I can drives around picking up checks, right? What's the name of that business? That catering business. Your Unique Catering. Where? How can you find them?
Catch them on Facebook.
Facebook. All right, there you go. What's that guy's name?
Bruce.
Bruce. Stellar job, Bruce. Take the rest of the week off. Who's this? Oh, you know what? So when Linda, you're gonna have to pick up that phone. When the phone rings, I threw out the other phone. See that phone? I threw it out. That's the house phone. I tried to give it away at the garage sale, but I couldn't. We never use it, so I don't know how to turn it off. So I was gonna sell it to somebody, and then it would be ringing and yeah. So now I stick it there, and I had it over there, and it started ringing. And I could hear it in the house. So then I threw it further back. Oh well, I'll get to it.
Might have to put it in the camper.
I'll maybe give it one of those people that throw out their Bobo burgers out over at your place. So we're struggling with the bike. That's just the reality of it. So Frank's working on it feverishly. That's the custom Ruttman Pioneer bike, the rolling sound wagon. So I've been, instead of, the first year I would have gone nuts. What's it, a month away? Giveaway bike, it's an issue. Now, I laughed. And I cried. I sent a message to Temecula Bob and said, hey, look, if there's any chance, the other little two-piece, because this one, I don't let it leave my sight. I've been dying to get on that thing, right? Since Jay brought it back, but my shoulder, it's like one side says, ride it. The other one says,
too small for me.
No. Yeah, but it's just to go down the block.
Still too small for me.
So I have another one coming. It's been on order with Bob for a little while. So I said, Bob, please, if there's any chance I may be able to get my hands on that two-piece raw. And if you can maybe make it available for the show as a roller, i.e. stick a couple wheels on there maybe and tires, I'd love it because I may need a backup.
Right.
Then I started thinking about it. That's not too bad of a deal. And I can't, what am I going to do? I can't, Frank and F&B, they've got a company to run. They've got other things going on. I dropped them on it late.
That bike's a tough one to build.
Yeah, and I think it serves as an example for everybody who may find themselves just short-sighted and not realizing that no matter what, they're small, but they still take time. Christ, you know a lot better than I do. So that's the deal on the bike. We're still giving away a bike. We've given away a bike every year. 1 year we almost gave away 2. 1 year we didn't give one away because I thanked everybody for coming. And they're all leaving, and it's like one guy's like, "Hey, are you going to give away the bike?"
I forgot.
So, yeah, we're going to make sure that we do that. But we'll either have that custom Pioneer products showcased on that Ruttman, built by F&B, and Jake had a big hand in the design, and you were a big part of it as well. That will go, or the rolling two-piece Temecula Bob, and if that doesn't come through, you know me. Here's what I'm thinking. I have one of the last assembled Little Indians. I think it's the 3-piece. 0 anything. Even the original air is like barely in there. Engine has never had any gas in it. It's never been ridden. It would sure be appropriate with Ray being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So one way or the other, we're giving away a bike.
We're giving away a bike.
And if we do that, who knows, maybe we can get that one autographed by Ray and get some nice promotion out of that. Additionally, I'm starting to make the calls. I'm rolling down to Mother's Polish, picking up a big pallet of wax. I usually have some CRC giveaway. As I was moving things around here, Ed, I found some extra cans. I know that you like to have a lot of that, so I'll hook you up at the end of the podcast. Cool. And then we've got, I was at Public Storage today. I've been moving around some of the stuff. Moved out all the mini bikes. And I put the mini bike somewhere else, but I put my some other stuff in the garage at a Public Storage service. And on the way out, don't I see Rodney's Ribs food truck? Right?
You saw it?
It's right. He was setting up.
Oh.
It was about noon. And, Rodney was booked last year. I was touting it up. He was 5-star rated. Facebook loved them everywhere. He didn't show until like 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Awkward. A lot of hungry people, a lot of disappointed people. So I see him. I walk up to the truck and say, "How you doing, man? I said, you probably don't remember me. I said, my name is Joe from Joe's Minibike Reunion. He's like, oh, man. He said, I knew this day was coming. He said, your sandwiches are free. It's like, look, Rodney. Rodney, I said, I'm not here for free sandwiches. I said, brother, I got to tell you. I said, what happened? It's like, I spent 5 phone calls with your mom getting $1 million insurance and all this stuff and certificates of health and pre-promoted you and you pre-promoted me and then you don't come and then you didn't even answer your phone. And then when you do answer your phone, it's because I wouldn't stop calling you. And you know what he told me?
What?
He ran out of fucking ribs. It was during the day on a Saturday. It's like, so look, we can hit the restart button here because he has great ribs. That's why
How do you run out of ribs when you know you got an event to go to the next day?
it's like being in a band and booking yourself or getting
yeah.
booked. And then it's like, you know what? These guys never showed up. It's like, well, what happened? It's like, man, I said, my guitar strings were all broke. It's like, well, go get some more ribs or go restring your guitar. So he said he's coming. He gave me lunch. It was awesome. While I was there waiting, because it's not like you walk up and then you order the ribs and then he gives you ribs. He's got it in a smoker. He takes it out. He cuts it. He prepares it. It's like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The coleslaw, but it's like a slow, just like it's slow cooked. It's a slow deal. So he said, well, what time should I be there? And I started to think, it's like, man, it took him about 20 minutes to make one sandwich. So you better get there at 8, you know, if you got to set up. So he said he's going to come. He gave me his word. I looked at him man to man. We did the whole the whole knuckle bump. And while I was there, he opens up the little window. He couldn't get it open. He had to wiggle that little screen window, and he got half of it up, the other half wouldn't open it, and he sticks his fat little hand out. He had a long piece of barbecued, crispy, fatty bacon. You know, like if you're cooking and your buddies are around, it's like, dude, you got to have that shit that you. So I dropped that in. It was great. And then he said, come here, I got something for you. He gave me a rib, just not the barbecue sandwich, but just one rib. Ed. So like I'm salivating now just thinking about him. And he's gonna set me up and he's gonna let me down again. I don't think so. So Rodney should be there. The donut lady's gonna be there, the LA donut gal, and she's all custom donuts. She puts bacon on the donut, so you get a chocolate bar with bacon bits
and stuff. Yeah.
Did you go? Yeah, you went by there.
Yeah.
So she's got all that. She'll be there, and Scleroderma will be there. He's got a few things in motion. They've been supporting the event for a long time, so we'll have that group out there. And I've heard from some of the participants. Some of the folks from Arizona are coming out.
Yep, that's what I saw on Facebook.
Yep.
About time.
Well, it's happening. You know, we're getting slowly getting some folks to come from different states.
I hope they have a good time out here.
Yeah. Joe. And then some of the other guys, Nick and John and a few other guys, Jason. Hopefully we'll see half a dozen of those guys. They called up and said, hey, do you suggest a hotel? It's like, well, the one thing La Crescenta is not known for is hotels. So Pasadena or maybe the neighboring area around Burbank where the airport is, there's some spots around. I would check them out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of spots over there by the airport.
Just don't stay in front of Ed's house. And if you do, don't litter. And don't smoke. All right. So that's the latest. You can register online. Joe'sMinibikeReunion.com is $20 if you're local or if you get to town before the event. In fact, I correct myself. You can't if you show up just before the event because the deadline is October the 1st. If you get to Campbell Automotive, which is my one-stop shop for automotive repair, great family there, the Campbells, they're moving. Seems to be in the air. Everybody's moving.
Where are they moving to?
Right down the street here to on Foothill Boulevard. So Campbell Automotive will be at the current location on Honolulu Avenue until October the 1st. Then they'll be boogieing over to Foothill. We'll give you more of their forwarding information, but they have $5 off coupons. So you can go there and take your $20 entry.
Go over there and get one.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Do it. Just tell them you're Evil Ed. They'll give you 5. While you're there, would you pick up the Pioneer Audio, all the banners, and you know they've been not only great sponsors. In fact, I think they were my second sponsor. The First one was our friends over at, in fact, show you it, little Honda Glendale right there. See the decal?
Yeah.
Let's give them a little love.
We can't show that.
Let's do it. Let's show this one and the red one. See? The Honda Monkey's out. In fact, on the recent post for the podcast, you hold that one. On the recent post for the podcast, we showed a yellow Honda Monkey. It's out now.
Yeah, I saw that on some. Dino looked it up because I told him a new monkey bike was out, so he punched it in, and sure enough, it showed up.
$4,000. You can put it down now. It's heavy, I know. $4,000, baby. You know.
$4,000.
Yeah. So here's the thing. People want that
well,
now.
you know they sell the new ones for $4,000 and used ones
Are $4,000.
are $4,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well, actually, the
Yeah,
used ones
isn't
go
the
higher.
new ones more horsepower though?
They are. See the Honda Grom?
Yeah.
It's the same engine, the 125.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I
Same
thought.
wheels. We talked about that. They kind of use some of the parts. The Groms put out a lot of units. They got a lot of products, so some of them are compatible. They also released the Cub. Do you remember the Cub, that red, white, and blue plastic one?
Yeah.
That's coming back. I think it's called the Cub Cadet. That's out. That was supposedly coming out with the Monkey. All of them are available, and you should check them out at Honda of Glendale. They're on Colorado. Darlene's been there with me forever, and so have the Campbells. So go over there, pick up your $5 off. Just go in there and tell them you're here for the discount coupon. And if you are local and need any car repairs, or if you're in town for the event and anything happens to your car, check them out.
I just noticed I got a gold microphone. Do you have a gold one?
You know, I
Oh,
don't.
you don't.
I don't have.
Oh,
So what's the story with the?
oh,
What's the story with the?
that's pretty bad.
How'd you get the gold one?
I don't know. It was here when I showed up.
I understand that you have another fan.
Someone gave it to me, I guess.
Yep, you have another fan. He's on the production team. I'm definitely against showing partiality within the crew, but considering this guy's role, if he wanted to gift you, Aaron Munda, you know who we're talking about. It's you giving Evil Ed the star mic now. But you've earned it, Ed. You had a great year. You did good on the podcasting. You had some hosting. Maybe you'll be a little bit more active with this next topic, which is the judging.
Bonanza? Oh,
The judging.
I thought you meant Bonanza mini bikes.
Oh, well. So on the judging, Jake and I, and hopefully Ian
Yeah, I got
and
that
yourself,
email.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation. We're going to add a chopper class this year,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
There was some talk about the way that we laid out the entry. Frank from F&B said someone had mentioned that their bike got dirty because they had to roll it down that little dirt path. What do you think about stuff like that?
You're not judged on if it's dirty or not.
And it wasn't as if that
And
was
it's
a long
not
way.
like it's not like a windstorm picked up and caked it full of dirt.
And I like the setup where you're judged before you get placed. I think we set something up there.
You just can't please everyone.
So we're not going to be able to make, but here's what I am going to do. In fact, I've got to make a note now. When I meet with the park, I'm going to ask them to not turn on that sprinkler.
Oh, that sprinkler
Because-
made everything all muddy right there.
So that's the deal. And maybe what I'll do is I'll also have sawdust. Okay. So we're learning as we go along. So we're going to talk about the judging. And I like the judging. I like the judging team, which is Jake Moe, Ian from CB. You've been there helping out. We've had Midgie there. We had a couple other guys, Luke and Ray. They helped us out with not only the that Honda segment, both the Z50 CT70 as
Right.
well as the current modern day Honda Groms and Ruckuses. So we'll have a good staff. We have, I believe, not only the various awards, and there's plenty of awards. There's over 40 awards, I think, when you take first, second, and third place into account. We have the Brad Elzey's People's Choice Award, which is kind of like the People's Choice to me has always been the one that's the coolest. We have the Hall of Fame, which we talked about earlier. And this year, not only will we have Temecula Bob, but we'll
Ray
also,
Mitchell.
yeah, it'd be great.
Yep. Cool.
Got a lot of good feedback from the posts. And if his son comes, that will be great. We'll all have a chance. And I'll talk to hopefully the son through my buddy Carmen Carisi, and he will find out if in fact those guys are coming, and if they are, if there's a chance to do a little meet and greet with those guys, that would be cool. So without getting too too deep in the event because it's still a month away. I just like to suggest and encourage everybody to do whatever you can to help a buddy out to get his bike done. And if you're not ready with your bike, get wrenching. You still got time. We talked about this before. It could take you a year or 2 or 10 like it does us, or it could take you a weekend depending on what your status is. How are you set up, Ed? Bike-wise? Have you decided what you're going to bring?
Bring the 3 oldest ones I have.
Tell everybody what they are for those who may not know.
One is the first 50 Bonanza. It was there last year.
Yes.
And then I have another one with a 820 West Bend in it.
Okay.
That's like badge number 3,000 something.
Oh, cool.
And then I have one of the early swing arm bikes with a Briggs 3-horse. That's like number 5,000 something.
So you got the trifecta there.
Yeah, I'm going to bring all 3 of the early Bonanzas.
Great. Good. I appreciate you doing that too. Let's jump into the roll call. We created that roll call a couple podcasts ago, and then we followed it up a little bit. We struggled with the fact that we're on the West Coast, and many of the folks that wanted to participate are on the East Coast, and we just ran late. So my buddy Duran was one of those guys, and honestly, I still got my fingers crossed that we'll be able to get to him, but we're going to dial him up. Duran is and has been a part of that scene up in South Carolina, or down in South Carolina, I should say. Have you ever been to South Carolina or North Carolina?
No. Farthest I've been was probably, Pennsylvania, but earlier, when I was younger, was Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. I was going to say Pennsylvania. You've got that you're nowhere near it there. 49080. Get that. Let's see if we can get him up. Good. All right. So we'll try him at the break again. What time is it over there? 10:30. I told him it'd be about 10:30 his time, so I was on time. I would have felt bad if I called him late. Yeah. So we have all the basics, I think, covered so far for the event. The other thing is I talked to Tim today, Tim Adiski. I haven't talked to him for a little while. He was on a vacation.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. Took off for a while. He went to Canada, he said.
Oh.
Hey, Hoser?
No wonder no one can get a hold of him.
Yeah, but no, he's been back for 2 weeks though. I tried calling him too. I called him because it's like, hey Tim, I've got this scooter, this SEMA Hall of Fame scooter that is littered with about 30 autographs from SEMA Hall of Famers, of which one of them, one of the more prominent Hall of Famers, is your dad, Ed Iskandarian, Iski Cams. And I left him a message to say, because him and I had talked about that when he was here filming the podcast, which has gone over almost 2 years now.
Right.
So it's been all that while, and it's like it's been sitting there. And because it has all those signatures, I wanted it to stay and be with someone who was a Hall of Famer. Now, Dave McClellan, the voice of NHRA, as well as a neighbor and a good friend, we lent it to him, and he had 2 of them. And his wife said he barely used it, with the exception of using it at SEMA. The rest of the year, and I could see that. If you don't want to use it, it's not like you want to be around those things. But it's something that's at SEMA where it's tough to get around.
Yeah, I should have had one.
I'd use that card. So I had been wanting to get this to someone within the SEMA Hall of Fame, and I thought for certain that Dave would use it, and he gave it back. And I thought for certain Ed would love it, and I was going to give it to Tim to give to Ed.
Give to Ed.
So Ed's like, that would be great. That would be cool. But as we start talking, he goes, he'll never use it. It's like, what? He said, no, he's got one. Or he uses one once in a while, like at SEMA. And he says, or maybe he'll ask for a wheelchair if he's traveling because he doesn't have to deal with all the lines at the airport. He kind of plays it off. He goes, but no, he says he gets up every morning. He drives his I think he has that big Cadillac, right? He goes to work. He says he goes, meets his buddies for lunch, drives back, comes to the office, or comes to the shop, and drives back. So he says he's at 97, I think he said he was. 97? Is that right?
Could be.
Even if it was 93. God bless him. So I have this autographed chair, and ironically, Peter from SEMA calls tonight. And Peter was the one who saw the opposite side. I wanted to litter the SEMA show with these custom carts, or disabled, or they call them disability scooters. And I wanted to build a fleet of customized scooters that maybe Chip Foose would build, or maybe Eva Led would build, or maybe some folks within the industry could maybe put together, so that when all the Hall of Famers showed up, they had a fleet of 12 custom
They
scooters,
could ride all,
and they just sign up for them. And when Linda Vaughn came in, she got to pick what was there. Maybe she got the Hearst Shifter one, right? Or if maybe Bob Spar came in, or Don Prudhomme, any of the Corky Coker, if they wanted to. And realistically, even if nothing's ailing them, just to have that cool little scooter to get around. It's a great conversation piece too. So I wanted to litter them. And then Peter said, Joe, it's a great idea. There's no way we can do that. And it was because if you had such a popular person like Ed Iskandarian on a really cool scooter, and he's trying to drive through the SEMA show, everybody's going to stop him. Everybody's going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
So here he is. He's already a magnet. Now he's going to have this custom card as another magnet. And there's so many people at that show, it literally would clog. And so that would be one. Imagine 12 Hall of Famers and 12 custom. And there's way more than 12 Hall of Famers. So if they all had these custom scooters, as I was thinking about, it would affect the flow of the traffic. So I didn't think like that. I'm not that smart. And as you look at it, it makes perfect sense. But meanwhile, we've got this scooter over here, and there's other people that I know could probably use that, and I want to give it away. But I just wanted to make sure that it stayed with the Hall of Famers. So this SEMA, I have a mission, which is to find somebody that's hopefully in California that can come take this thing away. Otherwise, I may be better off keeping it. I may be going to use that scooter in about another 20 years.
Well, you know how things go.
Yeah.
I wish I had every car I had when I was younger, because now they're all worth a fortune.
But where do you stop? I mean, it's like the same thing with the mini bikes too, right?
Yep.
You know, the thing about it is that I wish there were some signs that people were actually paying what these things are worth. Now, granted, there are some bikes that are just like you talked about, those 69 Honda Z50s. You know, the hardtails that are out there. You even see terrible ones that people want $1,500 just because you have one. I don't like them that much. You know, just to have. 50 cc's is tough to get around with anyways. I figure at this point on, I might as well, if I'm going to have something, I might as well have something that I can ride, right? So the mini bikes are one thing, but these other mini motos going forward, that's why I bought that Suzuki Van. It's 200 cc's instead of these small 125s. As cool as that Z50 new monkey bike is, it's a Grom. And you got to put another $2,000 in it to make it go a little faster and sound a little better anyway. So whether you want to put, now you're into $6,000 for a monkey bike, Ed. By the time you put on the different seat and the different pipe and the different mirrors and whatever you do.
Isn't that like everything you get that you want to modify?
But, those bikes were supposed to be moderately, point of entry shouldn't be closer to 10. It should be like 3 to 4, not 5 to 8. Everybody would have them, I think. Otherwise, it's just too tough. So, we got the event covered. We tried to get a hold of our buddies over at Spartanburg. I want to give a few shout-outs to some of the folks who I've missed. We haven't been doing many of those lately. I remember the one show, we were just too damn busy. We didn't get to anybody. But I think it's always nice to do that. So I've got a list of folks, Ed. And then I also want to recognize and remind folks, we had 2 winners. I think it was Isaiah, who won the small engine cam. So I told Ed Tim while he was on vacation, I had a couple cam winners. So Isaiah was one, and then Brad DeMoisey.
DeMoisey.
Yeah. Brad Demoisey, whose event is coming up the end of September. Find out. You can get Brad on Facebook. He is also, congratulations, a winner of a small engine cam. We tried, I think Brian forgot. I felt bad because I couldn't find his phone number. And then he said, don't feel bad because he forgot he was doing the show. But we had a deal with F&B. And Brian, if you're out there listening and you've got any tech-related questions you want to send out, we probably get a little T-shirt package from F&B. Again, I mentioned Frank at F&B. Did we ever say congratulations to him on his wedding?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, because I think it happened the week
Yeah.
and after the podcast, I think.
Yeah, the show.
Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations again. Is it Allison?
I think so.
Yeah. Allison and Frank. That is.
I think I posted up there. It's now FB&A.
There you go.
FB&A racing.
How'd that go over?
I got a thumbs up, and
Yeah.
that was it. That's as far as it went.
Well, we hope to see them as well as all the other folks that are coming out. We did get 1, 2, 3, 4 out of like 8, just like me, who doesn't start working on the event until like a month out. Same thing with registration. Nobody registers at all until like a month out. So we started to see a trickle of registrations that came in. If you'd like, we are going to continue with the apparel, and we're going Dodger Blue. Dodger Blue hats, Dodger Blue trim on the posters, on the T-shirts, and we'll have some of our leftover. I got like maybe a box or so from of hats from 2017. They're all have a badge on them with the year. It's kind of cool. It also dates them, and then we have a few of last year's T-shirts available. Those are $15 and free shipping and handling in the U.S. That's a pretty good deal. I lose money on that deal, Ed.
What does it cost? Like $5 to ship it, right?
You can't do anything with
$4,
UPS or
$5
yeah,
to
it's $5, $6. Yep. If their city has more than 4 letters, it's another $2, and then you got all the box and all that good stuff. So we're gonna take a quick little break here, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna take some phone calls. Before we do, let's give a couple shout outs. I'd like to give a shout out, in fact, a big shout out to my sister-in-law Gail. Gail put down the hammer. December. How many days are in December? 31?
31.
That's it for her. She's retiring.
Good for her.
Yep. She's retiring early at 45
45.
or 55. I just try to take some years off her.
Wait a minute. I thought it was 62.
So she's retiring early, Ed, and she'll be out for the podcast as well as Jerry.
All right.
So congratulations, Gail, on retirement. That's the thing to do. Take some time while you're healthy and happy. Go out and enjoy yourself.
I'm retired, but I still work.
You'll always
Can't
work.
figure that out.
Well, you got to have a little mad money.
I can't figure that out.
Have you bought anything recently, mini bike wise? Part wise.
Oh.
What'd you buy?
I just turned my friend onto one that I wanted to buy, but being that I'm moving and I need to save the money, and
Threw him a bone?
I threw him the bone.
What'd you get him? Or did you tell him about?
It's a Bonanza. It's kind of a rare bike.
All right.
It's not a early model, but it's a rare bike. It's a Bonanza MX, spoke wheels, and it's got the taller jack shaft plates, which means it's a torque converter model. It's actually a BC 1310 MX, or I mean, not a BC, a MX 1310 TC, I think they call
For
it.
the torque converter?
But it doesn't have a motor or the torque converter, but basically it's all there. The spoke wheels are rare on a Bonanza. And it's got the front end on it. It's got the seat pan. It's missing the gas tank, missing the motor.
What was the
But
tank
all
like
the rest
on
of
that
the
bike,
stuff's
Ed?
there. It was a regular Bonanza fiberglass tank.
Okay. Yeah. Was it a California bike? Out of state?
No, it's California.
Did your buddy act on it?
He's acting on it right now.
Nice.
I just called him earlier because he was working a 12-hour shift. And first he couldn't find it. So I told him how to find it again. And he found it about
Still
2
available?
hours before he got off work. Then he got off work and I called him. He goes, I haven't been home yet to email him. Because it's the email type only deal. But I told him, you better grab it. That's a
Good price?
A rare bike.
Fair price? They're always a little bit high if
It's a
they're that
little
rare, right?
high,
Yeah,
but
pretty
it's a
good stuff.
rare bike, you
Mhm.
know.
Got- So
When
you
it comes to something like that, and I know that it's rare,
buy it.
and it seems like a high price, if I have the money, I'll just buy it
There you go.
because I know what it is and I know it's rare.
When was the last time you seen one?
I never saw one.
Wow, that rare, huh?
I seen a picture of one on an ad.
Remember the, like you said, the spoke wheels. Even seems weird to even say
They're
that.
10-inch
Yeah.
wheels.
Well, what's he going to need to do to get it complete? How hard is it going to be for him to find the tank, for example? Is that going to be like
He's
another?
got parts.
Oh, he does. Great.
Yeah, he's got parts.
Well, then he'll be all set.
He's got a tank.
Were those 5 horsepower engine bikes, or what were they?
Yeah, 5.
Well, that was close to spending some money. I haven't. I've been good. As I looked around, last thing I bought was this. And, you know,
I like that color, though, when it's brand new.
and Cliff said something that's stuck with me ever since I got it, which is just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Only thing I did is put a new filter in it because I took this off, and when I did, it exploded.
It did.
Yeah. It was like everything else was original. Hey, let's give a couple shout outs and be curious. What else have you guys been buying? I see the Go Power Sports folks. In fact, yeah, let's give something away from the Go Power Sports guys. Let's give away a gift certificate for $50.
Oh, $50.
Yep, Go Power Sports, and it's going to be for their Coleman hop-up kit.
Okay.
They've got a new line of, I think it's the Coleman. Is it the 2000? I don't know. I'm not as aware
I'm not
of
into
those.
Coleman, so don't really follow them.
We talked about them, and it, you know, we're hardcore guys, and we like the old vintage bikes. Many of the new guys that are coming in, where it's all about the
I
money,
didn't notice that. It's all Coleman this and mini
because they're everywhere.
Bajas this and
Yeah. Now the Baja, I don't know that, and honestly, I categorized Bajas early on. I rode a similar style Baja, the big frame.
the big frame.
They're fun as shit. They really are.
I know they are, but
Definitely not. Where
it's not
we're
a
coming-
mini bike. It's
It's a-
big.
it's a
It's a
motorcycle.
bigger mini bike.
It's a motorcycle. It's a
Yeah.
mini motorcycle, but it was fun. So thinking about, hey, look, everybody's got their own, whether it's money, whether it's age, whether it's, you know, we're pushing vintage, but many young guys where you can go to Lowe's and pick up one of these things in a box with a handle for $4.99, and you know, guys are doing it. So I like it because it gets them into the sport. Not necessarily a big fan of the bikes per se. However, they've been modifying them.
Coleman's been making mini bikes for a while.
Yeah, the name.
Coleman, yeah.
Yeah, we looked at now having one of the old Colemans is a little bit different than having just like anything else, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Coleman has an expanded line. Actually, it's gopowersports.com. It has an expanded line of performance products for your Coleman. I think Irving, the Green Hornet, said that those guys have great customer service. When I say it, it sounds like I'm stroking them because they're sponsors, but when I first talked to those guys, they really are cool. And they got a good group. They do a really good series of videos where they're either out riding or they're into carts, like many of these companies. Mini bikes alone, I don't think is enough for them.
Right.
So they have to sell the ATVs and the
Right.
carts and everything else, but they're just a bunch of small engine nuts. They've been putting on a lot of events. They've been doing a lot of promotion. We got to get out there, I think, with the Texas Outlaws and with Isaiah and those guys from Louisiana and Mississippi. And, you know, Jake Moe's interested. Maybe we go out and spend some time with those guys out in Texas, and maybe we'll hang out with our friends over at Go Power Sports. We talked about it. We might as well do it. So if you have a question or comment, go ahead and send that in, and we'll look at that at the break, and we'll give away not only a small engine cam, but we'll also pick a question, Ed. Hey, I understand that people are growing beards now. Just to recognize you. Chris Scott from upstate New York tells me that he's growing an Evil Ed beard.
Yeah.
You got Myron Bailey
Yeah.
growing the Evil Ed beard. I saw that.
There's one thing I can't figure out. He
What?
calls it bread.
He calls,
Is that like some kind of slang for a beard?
yeah. It's a play
Bread?
on words.
Bread?
Your bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I kind of thought so when I saw it. Well,
does his
Myron
beard.
knows how to spell beard. I know that.
Well, you never know. Maybe you caught him in between shifts. See, people think he's a big party guy. They don't know that he saves lives all day.
Oh, yeah. He's one of those kidney guys.
And he's deep, too. When you talk to him, he's all, gee, one time for Detroit. But when you start talking to him, that's one serious, thoughtful guy. He's a great dad. Got to spend some time with his son. His son doesn't like our theme music for the podcast.
He doesn't?
Tell him get over it. You'll be all right. I think he wanted more of a shaft kind of. All right, so let's give a couple shout outs and then we'll give away some stuff. It's Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're just shamelessly promoting the big event. I'm a little bit late. We've had a couple changes. Mostly good. We roll with them. Tim Geike. Give a shout out to Robert Bibod, Charlie Graham, my boy Richard White. How you doing, Richard? He's always out at the event. Look forward to seeing him. Gary Price, Richard Scott, Mike Jones, Alex Moon. Somebody follows us. They're called Popularity Contest, Ed. Well. Mackie McCarran, Andrew Stidham, Jeff Pixler, Jason Lee, Bill Manchester, and I don't know if I forgot you. Will get you during the break. It's Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, season 3, episode 12. You want to do the whole thing again, Ed? Brought to you by Pioneer Car Audio. See you at the break.
Season 3, episode 12.
See you guys in about 10 minutes.
Is your car stereo a little outdated? Don't sell your car. Upgrade it. Get hands-free calling with Android Auto on the new Pioneer Next.
New from the makers of legendary Brake Clean, the Shop Size Brake Clean Pro Series. The larger Pro Size can has 50% more of the brake clean you've trusted for over 47 years. Also available in 3 non-chlorinated formulas.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, season 3.
Episode 12, take 2.
You've really created quite the little prop there.
I like that.
That with the gold mic.
Yep.
Still pissed off about the gold mic. Look at that. One more thing, you'd have the trifecta. Speaking of the trifectas, we had the matriarch, Gail, watching. We got Marv joining us. You remember Marv?
Mm-hmm.
Marv's up. So that would mean it is almost, 1 o'clock
Midnight.
over there? Or midnight over there? And
Wait, no. It's 8 o'clock here?
Is it 8 o'clock?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. That's late for him. What's happening, Marv? Thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Marv's been back there raising grandkids.
Yeah, I kind of saw that.
Yep. So we got Andre the Giant. He's about ready for a mini bike now.
Think so?
I think he's about a year away. He's a year away, so maybe that little orange Arco Reynolds with the scrub brake with a little 3 horsepower flathead, that'll start him off. So thanks for watching, Marv. Pops, and then we've got Corey. What's happening, Corey? In fact, Corey would be a good gauge. Corey's got some good style. So what I did, Ed, is, I don't know if you guys can see this. He's got all these fancy cameras, but I brought out, because I was trying to mix it up with the shirt, and it got so cold I just put on a regular shirt. But these are some old mini bike shirts that I've collected over the years. And this is a Powell that I got from Minibike Paul.
Minibike Paul,
I
yeah.
bought the Powell Challenger. So that's one. Put them off to the side there, would you, Ed, as I hand them over? Maybe you can stick them on the bike. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, stick them on there so people could see them. This is a little Indian shirt signed by Ray.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got this one. Doesn't have anything on the back, but it's a nice shirt. This one I got when I visited Michigan for the Roadkill event. My buddy Calvin Carisi picked me up and brought me around town. I can't wear that one, Ed, because it's got the autograph.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Now this one, this has to be by far the coolest looking one, right, Ed? The taco shirt, because it's like a worker's, it's like a crew shirt, like a NASCAR crew shirt, right?
Drag racing guy shirt.
Where it'd be littered with decals, but that is one of the coolest logos ever. That taco logo. The shirt's a bit, well, it's what it's supposed to be. It's an attention getter. The logo's on all the sleeves, but it's heavy. It's like a,
Winter shirt.
yeah. So this one I got from Taco Joe back when, I think when we were attending a event at Pomona, the LA Roadster show.
Oh, okay.
And we had a setup, Taco had a booth there, and I was doing something for Revin TV. We run out of space? You're doing a good job over there too, Ed, the way you're setting it up. This is probably how your house looks, right? With all your mini bike. This, E laughs whenever he sees this because I put him through filming that terrible commercial. You should check that out online. I think it's on YouTube. Frankenstein, something like that. Joe's Minibike Reunion.
Yeah, it's on there.
And I think I screwed up this year because, like, I liked the shirts. We put the little logos on the bottom that year. Steady Garage and F&B. And I already had Campbell's on the sleeves. I wanted to do one on the back. But what I should have done is, like, a lot of people weren't huge fans of, let's just say, having that on the front. So I probably should have put my logo on the front and Frankenstein on the back. Oh, what are you going to do?
Too late now.
Too late. Now, Ed, this is your buddy. Now, you know him affectionately online as who?
Simple Tom.
Simple Tom.
I can't pronounce his last name.
Drizwicki.
Just Ricky.
He is the illustrator, isn't he?
The what?
The illustrator.
Yeah, he's an artist.
Yeah. And it's really cool stuff. This was one he did for Eric. In fact, what's happening, Eric? Eric Shingles, how you doing? Eric usually joins us late or doesn't join us at all. Didn't we call him and wake him up one time? Or we called and it was too late.
Kyle didn't.
Yeah, that was Kyle from Indiana, but I think we tried Eric too. This was from their drags in 2017. He's done with that place. The venue for the Candyman drags.
Oh, yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, they weren't treating them. They weren't treating the mini bikers the way that he wanted his customers treated. This is Nitro 44. This comes from my man Calvin Carisi, Mini Bikes and Shit. I really like the logo. Nice little shirt there. Kind of simple. And there's just one more to go, I think. Now this one comes from Honda. Not only do we have our friends from Honda of Glendale, the local dealer, as a part of the show, you know, we give away like a dozen helmets from these guys every year, too, at Joe's Minibike Reunion. In addition to all the prizes, and we have plenty of prizes, we give away prizes from F&B, Small Engine Cam, CRC, Pioneer, Mother's Polish, myself. The guys from Honda have been threatening to get more involved, but it seems like every year I have an event, they have another event that they're a part of. This was a shirt that they gave me that takes a look at their motorcycles, from all the various years, their cars from various years, their Indy racing, airplanes. It's kind of like a pictorial essay of all the transportation that they manufacture. Honda, the power of dreams. I don't know what they were thinking on the color. It's like some gray blue thing, but it's Honda. It was nice. Stick that up there.
How about right here?
Stick it up there. Yeah, that'd be right there. I'd see where you got the little zip tie.
That's,
See what the zip tie's for?
there we go.
There you go. Looking good. Well, thank you. You see any of those that you have to have outside of the autographed one, you can have it. Well, you can't have the Paul one either, though. So we can't have any of the good ones. So we're back. It's Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're selfishly promoting the podcast. It's all about the podcast. However, we're going to take even a backseat to the podcast because it's all about the event. It's 30 days away, October the 13th, presented by Pioneer Car Audio and F&B Racing, as well as a few other folks. So we had, we tried to call Duran Bagwell. You've heard of this thing called a hurricane or tornado?
Yeah, I heard of it.
Well, it's like headed right towards them.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I didn't realize that when I was calling. So Duran, we hope that you're safe and that you get safe. Everybody on that eastern coast, looks like right in the heart there, from what, Virginia down through
Florida,
Daytona Beach, my old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
So when you get to a certain age, the online pirate people, they know and they send you shit, so that when you get over 55, say, you start to get retirement related stuff. So you can tell these senior citizen emails, you can see them coming a mile away. Yesterday I got one, and it had a tagline of Daytona Beach, Florida, which gets my attention because I lived there for a while. Linda and I. Apparently Jimmy Buffett, maybe we should retire there. Jimmy Buffett is replicating, in his view, a Margaritaville senior citizen adult community in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Doesn't he have a bar, Margaritaville?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
they're everywhere. But not.
But this is a senior citizen one, huh?
Yeah, could you imagine them? All the senior citizens walk around there, tanked up on my ties with the diapers on, taking Ambien. Fucking.
Paramedics are outside waiting.
But what if you go down there now, shirt off? Now you're in Daytona. You get a brown tan. You got the beard. You look like the dude from the Dos Equis commercial. Or is it The Most Interesting Man?
That's most
That could be
interesting,
you,
yeah.
and then imagine some sexy seniors that still had hard bodies who wear like bikinis. You'd have like a couple of them. They'd be in like fucking wheelchairs and have those walkers, and then you can take them out to the Boot Hill Saloon and have a drink during Bike Week. So if you're in the East Coast, be safe out there with that. I don't know if is it a tornado or a hurricane? Is it both?
I think it's a tornado.
It's a hurricane. See?
Is it a hurricane or a tornado?
I don't know. That's worse.
It's a hurricane. I thought it was a tornado.
Give a few shout outs to some of the folks that have also joined us. What's happening, my man, Eric. So Eric, let us know where the Candyman Extravaganza future events will be taking place, and find a nice home. Everybody knows that they can trust you, Eric. So wherever you park your banner and wherever you promote an event, your friends will go. And hi to everybody out in Detroit. You know, the summer's over, Ed. We didn't make it out there to Detroit this year because of my surgery.
Right.
We talked about going to Texas. Guess what? We got to go to Detroit as well. So maybe we look at this.
We got to go to Arizona too.
Let's map out a schedule. Yep. And see whether you're going to get full time. That'd be great. If you don't get full time, it means you're going to have a little bit of time.
No, I'm pretty much on part time.
All right. So then what we'll do is we'll find out what E's schedule is. We'll find out what Trevor's schedule is. More than likely, E will probably send Trevor out because he's busy. But we'll do a little long weekend in each of these places. We'll get there like on a Thursday night, and we'll get out of there on a Sunday, and we'll ride with them and see what's happening. So heading out that way, Karen Kraus is watching. What's happening, Karen? Hope you're doing well.
Karen, shout out to Karen.
I'm surprised she didn't have one of those Bonanza bikes that you turned your friend onto. You know?
I don't
pretty
think
deep,
she.
that
I don't think
collection.
she has one.
I bet she knows about one, though. How about this? Michael Fiore. Michael Fiore from the NE1. Big part of Joe's Minibike Reunion. Helped me with just about everything, marketing and logo-wise and branding-wise. Thank you, Michael, for spending some time with us. You know, we're getting ready for the big event. It's October the 13th here at CV Park in beautiful La Crescenta. If you're working on your bike, like we are, you're going to look around and say, oh, shit, I need a pull starter for my Briggs, or I need an F&B pipe, single stage. I can use a used one. If you need anything, you want a cylinder head, you want a camshaft, there's many places you can go to. Check out Small Engine Cams. Check out Studs. Check out Go Power Sports. And if you'd like to deal with a local hobbyist who isn't like a professional salesman, so to
GT
speak,
Hobbies.
see, GT Hobbies would be a real one. They'd be almost like Stutz and all these other guys. I just can't promote him because he's not a sponsor. Right. But you can call Ian Cordova of CB Minis because Ian's got tons of parts.
Shout out to Ian and
Literally.
his dad.
Yep. What's up, Pops? So, and then Gavin, I think Gavin's still winning some races over there, Eric's son. So hopefully everybody's
Pretty
doing good.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a race car driver. I don't think there's any confusion about that whatsoever. You just hope that a kid like that stays safe and get some sponsors. Maybe we can help him out with some sponsors. He keeps winning. You keep having a good time, we'll find some sponsors to support. But if you'd like to pick up some parts, or maybe you're in a jam and you need a hard-to-find part, check out my man Ian from CB Minis as well. I don't know, Ed. I think we're good. I went through the mental checklist about everything. I've got a few things to do. What about the trophies? Do you like the trophies? Do we need to do something different with the trophies this year?
No, I think they're fine.
I always bring back. How can I? I know what it was. We had 10 outstanding achievement awards that, in addition to all the other trophies that were specific,
Right.
had 10, because I do believe every year when I see the photos and I see the videos, or when I just stop and collect myself, it's like, how did this bike not win? Right? It's like, and then it's like, did you see this bike? It's like, I didn't even realize this bike was here. There's so many nice bikes. So after that happened to me enough times, I felt bad as a promoter that I didn't have the wherewithal to recognize those bikes. That Wolf bike, that black bike last year, for example, that wasn't like a big winner, but that would be an example of a non-specific outstanding award winner. So we had 10 of those guys, and I literally, like I did the mini bike one year, I forgot to give away those trophies. So I've got like 20 trophies, including those 10 that came back. If anybody has any trick trophies that they build, and I know that there's some really talented people out there, if you have something cool that you make out of maybe, I don't know, a connecting rod or a camshaft, people get very creative.
Sprockets, chains, whatever, wrenches.
Yeah. There's some of the coolest things.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd like going in that direction. So if you have anything, I put together something. Check it out on my Facebook page. Snap-on Tools was a sponsor of something I was doing a while ago. I think it was the Power Tour, many, many years ago. And they sent us 2,500 9/16 wrenches with box end and an open end. Stainless.
2,500?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I ended up with like a couple hundred of them in bags that hadn't been given away, and they went from the bus to the trailer to the garage to the dumpster. So I took them, and I had Jake make a little X with the
2 wrenches.
with a little logo. So if you've got that talent and you'd like to provide some trophies, or maybe just 1 or 2, we'll find a way to use them and give you a little shout out as a result. So those of you who may have that within your bandwidth would like to get involved there, just let us know. We had some questions. John Benet, what's happening, John? John's with the Arizona Riders out in AZ, Arizona Riders with the Z. You and I had talked about this before, but he was curious about how fast you've ever gone on a mini bike. And I've asked other people that. It seems like 70, 75 is kind of the range.
Yeah, I went like 70 on my drag bike.
So that was the fastest?
Yeah, but Home Alone got on it and did 80 because he's lighter.
Well, there you go. But you...
Yeah, it was about 70. If you want to see the see me racing, you can go on YouTube and punch in Evil Ed versus Solo Cali.
So go to YouTube. I think I've got your cough now, Ed. It's Evil Ed versus
Solo Cali.
Solo Cali. And it's, what is it, a little video action?
Yeah, there's some videos.
Are you swearing like you do in the old videos?
No, I'm happy because I beat Frank and Brian's mini bike.
Big shout out to our man Jake Moe. Jake, you're going to be setting up a conference call with me and the judges. Ed, you got to be a big part of that. I like your tact on the conference calls. You don't say much. That's a good strategy. Especially on the
I really don't say a lot.
trophies are tough and judging's tough, isn't it?
Judging is tough, yes.
And I'm not really like. Were you the trophy guy? Like, were you the judging guy? Was that big to you when you brought the car out? I mean, honestly, were you there to win trophies?
Yeah, I was there.
See, I was never that guy. So to me, not getting the
I got
connection.
screwed out of a trophy one time.
And therein lies the fact. How the fuck do you get screwed out of the trophy? Somebody else got it.
Well, I went to this, took my Merc, my 49 Merc to the Fresno show. And it was Blackie Gajijan show.
Blackie Jijian.
Yeah.
The
and
guy who started the Fresno Autorama.
that's where I went.
Train-deuce.
I drove my car there, and I was against a 50 Merc that was trailered there. And 2 hours before I got to Fresno, it started raining. But when they judged the cars, I had one of my judging sheets and one of the guy with the 54's judging sheet, and he had one of mine and one of his. Well, they awarded the trophy to him because it was a nice car. It was candy red. But when we went up there and we were all talking, I showed him my judging sheets and I said, "Hey, I got one of his." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I got one of yours." So I took my 2 judging sheets and added up the score, and I was higher than his 2 judging sheets. So I should have got the trophy. That was kind of like what's going on here, you know?
Let me try to read between the lines there, because those shows, the Sacramento Autorama, the Oakland Roadster Show, the Fresno Autorama, that circuit of shows, those are ISCA shows.
Exactly.
And those were trailer queens. And those were mirror floors to see the underneath, and the little kids, the stuffed fucking animals. I hate the car shows now. We got those little fake kids against the bumper, and it's all about the theme, and they have lights, and that is that show. It's not for the guy who's the modern day hero now. In Hot Rod Magazine, back in the 60s and 70s, you may see an ISCA car.
Well, it was
on
RG
Hot Rod.
Canning also.
Yeah, in those shows, those were lipstick and makeup cars, right. Largely. They didn't run. Everything was chrome.
Right.
Fucking everything you touched, from the door handle on the outside to the inside to the steering wheel, it was.
See, the reason I beat him is because I had way more modifications on my car than he had on his. His was basically stock lowered with a flathead.
But
I was lowered. I had all the seams filled. I had 47 Lincoln door buttons on the outside.
yours was a custom.
Yeah, I had a Chevy motor in it,
Now, because you drove it up,
and I drove it.
okay, so because you drove it up and it rained,
It rained 2 hours.
so
2 hours.
he's there underneath with the Q-tip, right, shining every little nut. You come rolling in, you probably got a little
It was
water.
wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put all that perspective. Typically, you know the success of what you've done by the way the people react to you. How were you at the show? People digging your car?
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, and so deep down, to me, that was always.
I really didn't care about the trophy, but it made me mad that they're running the show and they got the 2 judging sheets mixed up.
Well, let me tell you. Let me just defend them for a second. Even as simple with the mini bike show. Now, granted, I could use the help of having some more people. I try to do a lot of it on my own, on the fly, and I fuck it up. But it gets a little hectic.
Yeah.
You can make a mistake.
Well,
I expect Jake and Ian and you and Midge and Ray and Luke to know that an 8 plus an 8 plus a 9
Right.
is 25. Sometimes it's 24. It gets, so you can see where it happens. And I guess it goes all back to this. I never went there expecting to win a trophy anywhere. So winning it was always a pure surprise, and I never got
Well,
mad.
at that time, Blackie's show was invite only.
Oh,
I showed it in Los Angeles, and he came up to me and asked me if I wanted to show it in
like
his
invitation.
show. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Ed, you should break out a picture of that car so people. Is it one that I've shown before? Because I know you had some photos of you. I don't know if it was that
I
vehicle.
don't know if you had a picture of the Merc.
Dig one up. Dig one up, and we'll show it, because I'm sure everybody would like to know by now. In fact, let's check it out. So we're going to, we'll take in whatever custom trophies may be out there. So I'm going to go see my guy. But before I go see my guy, my trophy guy, I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to Jake and Ian to figure out if If you guys think we should add anything else, like I said, we're going to have a chopper class.
Chopper
It's going to be
class,
new.
that's good.
I talked to Louie at the dyno. There's one person harder to get a hold of than Iski Tim.
Louis?
Louie.
Really?
Yeah. And he's the greatest guy. And it's always scary because, I love it when I can call you up and you answer the phone. Like you're good. I'll call you and like you call me 2 or 3 rings, the latest. What do you
Right.
need? Boom, boom, boom. And no matter we're either yes, no, see ya. That's with Louie. When you do get a hold of him, it's like this. Like, Louie, how you doing? I'm doing good. Who's this? Joe from Joe's Minibike. Ah, yeah. How you doing? I was wondering if you're gonna call. I've been busy. I've been booked. I hope the date's open. What's your date? He's already got me on my fucking heels as soon as I get a hold of him. And I could say things, and I used to do this early on, which like, well, what do you mean you're booked? I've been fucking calling you for 3 weeks. You don't answer your phone. You don't return calls. So I'm nice, patient, right? New Joe. When he says, I hope I got the date open, I've been really busy. It's like, I know I've reached out to him twice because Charles wanted to use him. So I called him like around July or so. And what is it now? August, September. Hadn't heard back from him. So I call him now. And now I got to wait while he fumbles through whatever he uses for a calendar. And it ain't like he knows how to use his phone and hits 2 buttons and the calendar's there like he's like doing this. So now so he's fumbling through. Now, what is it? September what? It's like, no, not September. It's October. Oh, okay, October. Oh. What is it? It's not Saturday. So yes, it's Saturday. It's been Saturday for now. I'm starting to get fucking mad. It's October the 13th. As you're looking through your deal, October 13th. Can you make it? Oh, I'm on vacation.
On vacation.
I'm on vacation. He says, but I'm back on the 12th.
Well,
So he gives me a little life, but I'm back late. So I'm up, I'm down, and I don't have. Short of buying a dyno, and Ed like 2 years ago, I was calling Dyno Jet to see about buying a portable dyno because I thought not only would I use it at the event, I was going to try to rent a store and literally like have a little shop, but really focus on the dyno. Then I thought about it. It's like these mini bike guys are so cheap. They wouldn't spend $25 to put their bike on the dyno. In fact, the only reason why the dyno is popular at the show,
because it's free.
right? But I will say that I'm happy to report that after he put me through the patience or put me through the process, he gets in on the 12th. He'll be home by 8. He's got more than enough time to get out there. He'll be happy to be there. He loves it. He has a good time. I said, Louie, look, thank you. I said, but you got to return your calls a little bit earlier, brother. And I said, you've got to help me out this year. I said, last year you had, the first couple of years it was fine. You had to stay back a certain amount of feet. We had the yellow tape. The only people that were able to get anywhere near it was Charles Mosley because Louie was afraid of him. And Charles acted like it was his event. It was his event. And then the owner of the bike. Like if D had his bike, he'd let him kind of come in. But when you're inside that little, it's a shed. Fucking shrapnel flies, dude. Those things explode, right? And I was very cautious of that early on because I was, it's my name at the end.
Right.
Something happened. So I said, look, we've gotten 2 lax recently. I said, we've got to keep people away. I don't care who they say they are or what they're doing. And we've got to sign releases. Anybody that's in there. So if you've been used to like sticking your lips on the pipe of the bike that's been in the dyno and getting that close over the years, we got to back off a little bit this year. I don't want to sound like Big Brother, but it's just one of those things. And we are looking forward to somebody. What was it last year? 34 horse? Charles, if you're listening, let me know.
I forgot.
Mike, I think Big Mike won the dyno challenge last year, and we're looking forward to seeing who can knock him off his spot this year. It's Joe's Minibike Reunion dyno. It's sponsored in part by Steady Garage. We gave away some really nice trophies for that as well. I think there was a typo on that trophy last year.
Really?
Yeah. Instead of dyno, it was like dinette. So maybe they had a really nice kitchen too, right? So let's take a look at give some final shout outs again. If you want to register for the event, it's October the 13th. It's the 7th annual this year, Ed. Ed'll be bringing 3 bikes. I'm going to be bringing Well, I used to be able to see it, but now it's covered with mini bikes. I'm going to be bringing the customized two-piece Temecula Bob Micro Mini that Jake Moe.
Micro Roberto.
Micro Roberto. And I'm looking forward to maybe bringing out the Temecula Bob Cruiser. Jake, I need your help. My brake locked up again.
It did?
Yeah. I wonder what that is. So what he did is he let it bleed. He bled it and lubed it, and it was fine. It's just been sitting there. It's got that lock brake where it could lock, and then you take the lever off and it releases, but it's like it's still engaged when it's off.
It's not releasing. The pressure not releasing.
Yeah, so Jake need a little help there. And then I also found Ed where that little green wire goes on the Indian papoose.
Where's it go?
You know when you step on your brake, it hits that little igniter that sends the signal to put the brake light back on?
Right.
There's like a little solenoid.
It goes there?
Right in the back there.
Huh.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're starting to make some progress. I held off. Earlier I said I was going to buy one of those monkeys. I didn't. I put a $100 deposit on my credit card. I took it off. I'm not going to jump into that. Probably because I can't ride as much now as well. All right. So Ed, to answer your question, John Bennett, the fastest Ed has gone on his mini bike has been about 70 miles an hour. That was a good question. Bring up some good.
That was an
memories,
eighth
Ed.
mile.
That was an eighth of a mile. Where was that? Verona?
Anna Street.
Oh, there you go. The real eighth mile.
Yeah.
So Joe and some of the guys from Arizona Riders, maybe including John himself, are going to come down to check out the show this year, as we talked about, and they're going to get there a little bit early. In fact, they even offered to come by and say hi and help out, which was very cool. If anybody is coming from out of state or is local and wants to help out, we're usually at the park the day before, and we're there usually like from noon on, just laying out some mats. Not too much. Where we really need help is early in the morning when we get there, like at 5:30 before gates open. But gates open at 7. Hopefully we have all of our guys there helping out. Brian, Mikey, AJ, Nikole, she'll be there. Linda will be there. We also mentioned that we'll have some friends and family helping out. Looking forward to it. It always gives me a chance. What's scary is I can't believe it's already been a year.
Goes fast.
Yeah, a little bit too fast this time. So I'll be all about this now. You'll be sick of me. If you're sick of me on Facebook now, you're going to really be sick of me by the time I get done with promoting this event, because the last 30 days you got to kind of heat it up, right?
Yep.
All right, so we'll give a couple final shout-outs here. Billy Powell, what's happening, Billy? I haven't talked to Billy in a while. Crooked Eye Minis. Is Billy Powell, is he Alabama or somewhere? I'm not sure where.
I thought, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Michigan?
Michigan.
Yeah, that's right. He is Michigan. What am I talking about? Curtis, no, you can't bring your own Miss Mini Bike. Jesus Christ. So, Cherie, Miss Mini Bike. I said Cherie's been my Linda Vaughn. Mm-hmm. She has 2 beautiful children now, and great family. She's doing well. Apparently, she knew somebody who was Joe's Minibike Reunion friend or fan, and he didn't realize that Cherie was Miss Mini Bike, and she was surprised he knew about Joe's Mini Bike, and he was surprised she was Miss Mini Bike. So they may have a little get together and come up. There'd be nothing more than that I'd like to see than Cherie and some of her friends come on up and check it out. Chue, what's happening? Chue won the bike last year. Chue won the giveaway bike from Go Karts USA. And let's see here. Guys, Colin Smith's joining us. Colin, maybe we can get with you at some point and you can give us the inside skinny on what's happening where you are. Ed, I'm ready to go into show mode. Thank you in advance for all the help. We'll have our judges meeting soon. I'll put together that list of giveaways. Now, you've been to enough of these shows. If you had like one suggestion outside of the food truck showing up for sure this time, is there any fatherly advice that you'd like to maybe give me, or maybe give some of the folks who may be coming out to the event for the first time? A little heads up or a little advice?
Get there early.
Yeah.
Get your bike judged and head over to your spot.
And then just park your bike
Park
and
your
go
bike.
talk to people, right?
Yeah.
How about the people that just go there and sit next to their bikes?
That's me.
You just don't like to walk.
Well, I have to sometimes, yeah, when there's something wrong with
I like the mingling. There's nothing like when I see Papa Smurf come in, holding court, and I see the Ruckus guys and the Grom guys come in. You know, they're kind of hanging out. I guess I like that too. You know, so, yeah, so either way, hang out with your bike, walk around, meet some friends, do all of it. That's the fun part about it. If you need anything while you're in town, just give us a phone call.
Oh, you say hi to me when you come out.
Yes. You kind of hold court. Now, you'll notice that we have the old trailer, the Fireball trailer that we use for the headquarters and the apparel sales. Ed is usually about 20 feet to the right, under something shady. Yep. And
I don't think it's going to be that hot.
did you get busted for smoking there last year? Or they let you go.
I hid pretty good.
I had one lady come up to me one time with a butt the first or second year. Excuse me? I feel somebody tap me on the shoulder. I was talking to somebody. Say, excuse me? Look around. I said, yes, how can I help you? I found this on the ground. So I thought she was going to give me like $100 or something, right? So she gives me a cigarette butt. It's like, yeah. It's like, it's not mine. She goes, well, it's one of your guests, I'm sure. And she kind of pointed to where it was.
There's a lot of guys smoking out there.
So I sat
hiding it.
there, and she ran away. She was a jogger, too. Like, I couldn't hate her anymore, right? A fucking non-smoking jogger.
That figures.
So, I don't know. Just, if you smoke whatever you're smoking, just watch out for the joggers. What can I tell you?
I always put the butt right back in my pack.
Yeah. You got to stop smoking those things, Ed. Try to get you to smoke a little weed. You don't do the weed, but you smoke those damn cigarettes. At least you get high a little bit off the weed.
I can't figure it out.
All right. Well, we're not perfect, right? We all got our little vices. Once we're now habits are now vices, or is it the other way around? It's Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. E, when's the next one? I know it. Between the three of us. The 26th, and then what's the next one? Okay, so we got two more remaining podcasts leading up to the show, the 26th and the 10th. Guys, thank you for those of you who hung in there with us tonight. We appreciate that. We thought we were going to have a chance to speak to one of our folks over in South Carolina, but we didn't. And I got a slow roll on promoting the podcast. So if you missed this one, it's always available on our Facebook page, Joe's Minibike Reunion. And it's also available on a variety of social media outlets like YouTube and, I don't know, Podomatic and a few others. If you like it, like it. If you have any more questions about the event, just visit the website, joesminibikereunion.com.net. I think we bought both of them. I don't know if anybody uses .net anyways, but if you do, it'll still get you to .com. Hope you enjoyed the T-shirt collection. If you've got one you'd like to add to it, send it to us quick. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors again. And we're going to give away the camshaft, the small engine camshaft, as well as the Go Power Sports package, the hop-up package for the Coleman. And we'll give John Benet the Coleman hop-up package from our friends over at GoPowerSports.com. And Karen Kraus, congratulations. You won a small engine cam.
Whoa, good for Karen.
Long supporter of the show, good fan of the show, big collection of mini bikes. I know she'll find a nice little spot for that. Congratulations to Karen. Just, I think I've got your mailing address. We've sent her out an Evil Ed hat, so I've kind of got her in the system. Congratulations to you, Karen, on winning the small engine cam. And congratulations, John Benet Ramsey, for winning the Coleman hop-up kit from Go Power Sports, GoPowerSports.com. I'm Joe. That said, Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. See you the next time, everybody.
See ya.
Joe's Minibike Show.